Hi everyone. I just wanted to check in with you all just to say a very big thank you for all of the hard work that you're doing to support your children during this very, very challenging and interesting and sometimes exciting transition towards a remote learning environment. These are very unusual times, but I know that you're all trying really hard to do your best to support your children and to, I guess, maintain some level of normality for them during this time where we're only allowed to really be in our own homes. I would also really like to thank our teachers. This is an incredibly challenging time for them professionally and personally as they shift their practice towards this online setting. The way in which we teach is all geared towards learning being a social, I guess, a social endeavour in that teachers set tasks that at home may only take 15 or 20 minutes to complete, but in the classroom where you have children sharing their ideas with each other, working in small groups, challenging each other, drafting, redrafting, going back and forth, going outside, doing all these sorts of things which we take for granted. We just can't do that at home, certainly not with the support of the teacher. So it is really challenging, and we acknowledge that in many homes, getting your children, particularly those young children, to engage in tasks for longer than 15 or 20 minutes is very difficult. This doesn't surprise us as teachers. We know that in a classroom, that children learn best with very short sprints. And they're not built, particularly our Prep to Twos, they're not built to be able to sit down for more than half an hour on a task. It just isn't possible. It's not how they are. It's not where they're at with their development. I certainly noticed that at home with my own children. I've got, as you all know, I've got 3 children, a 3-year-old who's just enjoying wreaking havoc at the moment and being very demanding, as I'm sure some of your 3 and 4-year-olds and 2-year-olds are doing at the moment. My year 1 daughter, Isabella, she's doing really well, but she needs a lot of help from my wife, and keeping her on task for longer than 20 or 25 minutes at a time is really difficult. And we acknowledge that, and we appreciate that. So we let her do some learning and then some free play, some learning and some free play, because that's where she's at with her development. That's very normal for a lot of your children who are at a similar age. Whereas my year 3 daughter, Maddie, she's much more independent. She's able to listen in on her Zoom meetings, go off and complete the tasks without as much hands-on support required from us, particularly my wife at the moment, who's providing that support. For those families who are really struggling with your kids, we really feel for you during this time, but I encourage you to be kind to yourself and not set your expectations too high in terms of what you achieve as a parent and then what your children achieve as learners. I know that over the holiday period, if I do something great with my kids, and it's an art activity, or if it's some sort of writing activity or some sort of gameplay, and it lasts for an hour and they engage in that really well for an hour, then I consider that day to be a success. Yet, in this home learning situation, we have these lofty expectations of our children being able to engage for up to 4 or 5 hours. These expectations I don't think are reasonable. And if we're setting those expectations so high, we're naturally going to be very disappointed with the outcome. My suggestion to you is that if every child, particularly the younger ones, Prep to 2, Prep to 3, if they're able to complete something every day that they're proud of, something that they've enjoyed doing, something they've found exciting, and that one thing they're able to upload onto Seesaw to share with their teacher, that is a day that I think you should celebrate. Expecting and hoping that kids are going to do more is a very natural thing. But if there's that one thing that has been achieved in a day, then that is a good day. And we need to celebrate that and not get caught up in what they haven't done, more around celebrate what they have done. I know that this is stressful for families juggling work commitments and home learning, and I thank you for keeping your children at home during this time. We have got an on-site program, as you know, for those families that aren't in a position to be able to work from home, and we've been proud of the fact that we've been able to provide that support. But as the Premier has said, as the Prime Minister has said, in some different ways, if you're able to keep your kids home with you, then you must. And we appreciate that. This is still a public health emergency. We are still I guess, a declared state of emergency here in Victoria and nationally as well. And so during these unusual times, I certainly appreciate the efforts that you're making to keep your kids home, to support them with their learning in whatever way you can, and to, I guess, look after yourselves during this challenging time. What I would like all families to do, and all staff as well for that matter, is to think about how you would like to remember this time in 12 months' time, in 5 years, in 10 years' time. What would you like your memories to be of this time? Would you want them to be memories of hardship and challenge and lots of family arguments? Or would you like to look at this time as being a time where you are able to have a more meaningful connection to your children, have a more meaningful connection and engagement in their learning, and their play and their activity, and their social development? I'm sure that in asking that question, the answer is obvious. Of course, we would all like to look back on this time as being a time that was, yeah, of course, challenging, hard, different, stressful at times, but also highly rewarding, and something that your kids can look back on and go, wow, that time when mum and dad were supporting me as like a teacher was so strange, or that time that I was able to spend more time with my brothers and sisters was pretty stressful at times, but was also pretty cool. That doesn't happen by accident. That has to be a decision that that's how you want it to be. And I think by tempering your expectations, by setting reasonable standards in which you can all achieve and feel success at home is really important within there. In terms of our teachers, many are reporting that they've never worked harder. I certainly can agree with that. There really aren't many free minutes in the day. Our teachers are, I guess, developing online content and having to publish that content and share that content with you in real time. And some of these lessons that would normally take half an hour to develop are taking up to two hours by the time they get all the takes right, and they're setting high expectations for themselves as well. So it's really challenging. They're teachers and publishers of online content at the moment, and then moderating that and then fielding questions from families as well. I ask all families to I guess to show compassion towards our teachers, not to be too harsh in your judgments of the work that they're doing, or to be too free with the feedback that you're offering. It can be overwhelming for them. They've shifted their whole way of being into this new platform, and it's enormously challenging. But I have to say, I haven't been prouder of the work that our teachers have done. Certainly in my 8 years here at the school, the willingness to engage with new ways of doing things across the board, not just with some staff, but all staff, has been really humbling. And I just want to say a very big thank you. The work has been exceptional. It will continue to develop, and that's very natural. It will look different in 2 weeks' time to what it does today. We're 4 days in. 4 days in and an hour gone. And you think about what we've achieved in this short time, it's phenomenal. It's something that our teachers and our broader community should be really proud of. So again, be kind to yourself, be kind to your children, and show kindness and empathy to teachers and friends and family during this time. And we will get through this. It's a difficult time. It's an exciting time, but it will end. And we'll really look forward to having you back at school as soon as possible so that we can carry on with the work that we love doing here at Auburn South Primary School. As always, if you are really struggling, please reach out for support. You can get me on via email. I've put that out many times, but also reach out to your teachers as well. And they might connect you with myself or a member of the leadership team. But thank you again for everything that you're doing during this time, and take care. Bye for now.